All right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vays, coming to you live from Gold Coast, Australia. We are about an hour and change south of Brisbane, right on the beach. It's amazing. I really hope you guys can see it with the waves. Set up the laptop as best I could. Yep, that one is set. Let me not take that down. Uh, Close that. Working with one. I hope the stream works. I am streaming off of my SIM card, international data plan. So I hope everything is working. We'll find out. And this may be the most useless trading stream I have ever done. And that's because I missed it by a couple of hours. And that's really, really unfortunate. Did not have a chance to stream. And anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys don't want to hear me complaining. So enjoy the view. I will take a look at the chart and I will tell you why I have nothing to tell you, unfortunately. So let's, oh wait, I have more view for you before we start. I am a big fan of this part of Australia. I really am. I might have to tilt the camera a bit. I can't see what you guys see, but this is really awesome beach area. So enjoy. We're gonna take a 10-minute look at the charts, and hopefully I'll tell you something useful, though I highly doubt it. But let's go take a look. Just enjoy the view. The weather here is absolutely incredible. So is the food. So are the people. Man, if I ever move out somewhere, might be here. Let's go to the screen share. You know, I'm going to go straight to the lower level time frames, and I'll tell you why. Here is the 4-hour chart. We can even go lower. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. If you've watched my videos enough, what you would know is the longer you consolidate at the highs, the more likely you are to break out higher. The more you consolidate at the lows, the more likely you are to break down. If you are new to this channel, I'm warning you may not want to watch this episode because it'll just frustrate you. So if you see price consolidating like crazy, the moment it breaks this line is the time to buy. Yes, you buy at the high. I like to use best fit lines. I'm sorry, guys, it's very bright. I can barely see the screen, and it's hard to, I'm on a bench, so it's hard to use the mouse. So here's what you're looking at. The price topped on a 9 a few days ago. It then topped on a 9 again yesterday. And here comes today. The moment we break this line, the price takes off for hundreds of dollars. And look, it tops on a 9 again. This is the hourly chart. The time to make money is 3 hours ago when we're breaking 89.80, when we're literally about to touch $9,000. Normally, 9,000 is resistance, unless it's a consolidation that is breaking 9,000. And as much as I wanted to say this 5 hours ago, you know, I don't always get to choose when my streams are due to travel schedule or my daily routine. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And now if I go to the 4-hour chart, on a 4-hour chart, you could have gotten in even earlier, because on a 4-hour chart, your best fit line is lower. This is your best fit line. Right there. Supposed to be a straight line though. I have the magnet turned on, so it's kind of a mess. This is your best, and I can even lower it. like that. You can almost lower it further. That is your best fit line. Yes, it has broken out several times. So you probably would have been buying on several times and stuck in a slightly losing position. But eventually it breaks out significantly. Now we're on a green 3 only. So we got plenty of room to the upside here. So using the 4-hour chart, the breakout could have gotten you in around 89, not closer to 9. And that's the time to take on a really good short-term trade. Can barely see my screen in the sun. On a 12-hour chart, you have a little bit of room. You're only on a 5, but the 12-hour chart is not interesting. The daily chart is interesting. The daily chart has broken the 200-day moving average. That is really, really good, but it has to be sustained. Also, look, the daily chart is going to have a 9 tomorrow. I think this 8 candle just started a few hours ago. I'm in Australia, so like the time zone is really weird. And if I walk over about half an hour to the left, I would be 1 hour different than here because it's a different time zone. It's again, Australia and time zones is unreasonable. So tomorrow is a 9, so there's a potential top in the market tomorrow or even today on a daily chart, and you're right at resistance. So basically what I'm saying is, if I was going to go long, I would have gone long 5 hours ago. It's the most useless statement in history. But right now, I wouldn't go long, because right now, I would be waiting for a top in the next 24 hours, and I would have just said, I missed it. If I was an active trader and I didn't go long, I would not be jumping in right now. The time to go long was 5 hours ago. If you missed it, then you wait. Or that's what I would do, okay? If I miss a trade, I don't just rush in. I'll wait. There's always another train coming, okay? On a weekly chart, there is ridiculous amount of room to the upside. But in order for me to become a bull, I need to break this downward trend line, which currently sits even above 10,000. But I think around 10,000, I'll become a bull unless we get to 10,000 really fast, really quickly, because then I'm gonna feel it's overheated and it's gone up too far too fast. I like perfect trades. If I get a perfect trade 3 times a year, then I'll trade 3 times a year. Those trades will be like gigantic. I wait for perfect trades. That's my system. That's how I view the markets. Hey guys, if you want to support this most useless video, please use the affiliate section of tonevays.com. Hopefully Unconfiscatable is way more useful than this video, and you can come out to Vegas in end of February. The financial summit is also there. Guys, the point of this channel is to educate. The point of this channel is not to help you buy and sell. It's to educate you so you can buy and sell on your own. And if you've watched me for years, you will know that the best time to buy is at consolidation at the top. And the best time to sell, or the best time to short, is at consolidation at the lows. Not the best time to sell. The best time to sell is when you see topping patterns like 9s and reversal candles. The S&P 500 closed at a new all-time high going into the weekend on a sequential 13 following a 9. I would not be in the S&P 500 short-term going into the weekend, but I would consider buying in Monday or Tuesday if it's still going higher. Gold is holding up well. Cool. I'm not going to look at shitcoins because as I can barely see the screen, I can try and look at your live chat if there's anything interesting there. Let me see. I see my name highlighted. Andreas stated he has no interest in visiting Australia because they can detain you for refusing to give them passwords to any electronic devices on you. Any issues so far? All I can say is for me personally, I can't speak for Andreas. I can't speak for anyone else. This is now my 2nd time in Australia and my 2nd time going through New Zealand. From my experience, traveling in and out of New Zealand and Australia have been the most convenient and the most hassle-free border crosses I have ever done in my life. Maybe I'm lucky. I can tell you what is my most hated border cross. As an American, crossing into Canada is my most, and back from Canada to America, as an American, is my most hated border cross. That's the one that gives me the most shit. That's the border I hate crossing the most in all my life of travel. Sometimes it's even the longest and the most hassle-intensive border I ever deal with. From US to Canada, from Canada to the US. I still have to leave Australia, so maybe things will change. But so far, I consider crossing into New Zealand and into Australia to be the most convenient borders I have crossed. I will say that the biggest thing Australian and New Zealand authorities care about the most is what dirt is on your sneakers. That is probably their biggest concern. And it's not crazy as to why. So as long as you have the right dirt on your shoes, you're generally fine. Land, air, or sea, US to Canada, it doesn't matter. The most hassle-intensive border, in my experience, is US to Canada, whether it's by sea, by car, or by flight. Again, that's me. Everybody's different. Do I support the policies of Australia and New Zealand in their data collection? The answer is of course not. But you have to look at it from the perspective. Let me cut. It is actually a good topic. You have to look at it from the perspective of Australia and New Zealand. Because their border is so hassle-free, it is completely digital. It is completely electronic. I crossed into New Zealand. I then crossed from New Zealand into Australia. And pretty soon I'm going to leave Australia for Bali. I will not speak to a single human at any point in time. I didn't, oh wait, I'm sorry. I did speak to a human. And that's because the picture of my passport looks nothing like me. So they actually compare the picture in your, like there's a machine that you stick your passport into, and it generates an electronic image of the picture of your passport, and it compares to the electronic image of you because there's a camera in front of you. And the machine said, the picture in your passport doesn't look like you, please see agent. So I actually don't blame the machine for that, right? So I wasn't supposed to speak to any human going through the borders of New Zealand and Australia. But the person I spoke to, because the machine wouldn't let me pass, was like the nicest person ever. And it was like laughing at the fact that the picture of my passport has hair here and no hair there. And now I look the opposite, right? So it was a great experience. So you have to understand from the perspective of a country, because 90% of the time it is completely digital, electronic, and hassle-free, that if there is a concern that a human has to get involved in getting you through the border, there is already a problem at hand. And they want to have laws in place that if there is already a problem, they want to have a deterrent to get as much information as possible, like your cell phone passport. So it's unfortunate. I wish it wasn't the case. But you do have to travel to these places through the New Zealand border control before you can fully criticize the law that they put in. Will they abuse this privilege in the future? The question is, the answer is they probably will. I hope they won't, but they probably will. Ideally, you want probable cause. You want probable cause to search and demand a person's a person's password to their phone. You need probable cause for that. And that probable cause needs to be explained to the person at hand. If I was writing that law, I would have made it a little more, you know, with respect to the person being encroached on. But hey guys, um, so again, everything is different. All I can say is I feel that crossing New Zealand and Australia have been the least hassle-free borders of my life, unlike US to Canada border. As a Canadian or as an American, God knows if you're a foreigner going through that border. I can only imagine. All right, guys, let me see if there's any other cool questions that I'm going to go. Tone is a statist. Sure, if that makes me a statist, okay. Talk to me after you run your country that's completely free, an open border, and let's see how many, let's see if 20 million people get into your country to live free when the country can only actually fit 2 million. Then we'll talk. Someone says Canada also detained me and questioned me about my whole life for playing rugby in Canada. Canada also detained me for several hours and questioned me, and it had nothing to do with crypto and it had nothing to do with Bitcoin. I can't stand the U.S. Canadian border. I almost don't want to go to Canada. Glad to see you made it to the Gold Coast. Thank you. Gold Coast is way better than Brisbane. Guys, they're an hour apart. Like, who cares? Who cares if Gold Coast is better than Brisbane? They're an hour away from each other. Like, all I can say is like it's I think people complain about the Canadian and New Zealand border way too much. Okay, way too much compared to the Canadian border, for example. All right, guys, enjoy the view. Sorry, the price analysis wasn't very helpful. What do I think going forward? The daily is on an 8, but the day just started. So sometime in the next 36 hours, sometime in the next 24 to 48 hours, I am anticipating a market top and a pullback. How high can we get before that? We can get as high as $13,000 in the next 24 hours. Nobody knows, right? I can only tell you based on time, not price. I am looking for a local top and a pullback within the next 24 to 48 hours. How deep and big will that pullback be? At the moment, I'm only anticipating that pullback to be 1 to 4 days. But I will try to bring you a more detailed stream tomorrow where I'm not, you know, sitting virtually on the floor to get you a nice view. So enjoy the view for another 30 seconds. I'm going to go grab a drink by the beach, and I will see you all on the next one. Byron Meetup tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I am speaking at the Byron Meetup. See my Twitter for details on the Byron Meetup. It's not in the video description. So go to Twitter and check that out. Thank you so much, guys. And I will see you all on the next one.